In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get more sacks and pressure when sending all-out blitzes or just sending 3 people and dropping everybody else back into coverage. So one of the most important things to do when you want to send any type of pressure is hovering. Now what is hovering? Hovering is when the user stands close enough to the line of scrimmage to make it seem like he is blitzing, but at the last second, he drops back into coverage. The reason this is so essential is because hovering will make the offensive line think that they need to account for you as an extra blitzer, which in turn will open gaps for other unblocked rushers. So you're essentially faking a blitz to occupy the lineman, which let your actual blitzers run unblocked for easy sacks. But this year, there are a couple of key simple components that you must know to establish a good hover when blitzing. And if you don't know these components, hovering actually won't work at all. So let's get into it. So I'm going to pick a random blitz, doesn't really matter what the blitz is for this video. Now in the play, whatever linebacker you are using, that's the player you will hover with. But the first thing you need when hovering is make sure you are close enough to the line of scrimmage where the green bar will pop up over the head of your user. This bar will tell the offensive line that you are a blitzer. Another thing you'll want to do is put your user on a blitz. Even though you are faking the blitz and will drop back into coverage, this will still help the pass rush immensely. But for instance, let's say that the green bar is not over your head even if you put your user on a blitz. The hover will actually not be very effective, and you will not see unblocked rushers or quick block sheds. But you'll see that when the bar is over my head and I put the user on a blitz, I'm able to occupy the offensive lineman, and you will get an easy sack from unblocked players and block sheds because of it. The next thing you want to make sure to do when hovering is to refrain from holding the right trigger. In this year's game, if you hold the right trigger at the snap while you are hovering, the O-lineman will clog everything up, and there won't be any solid pressure, nor will there be any unblocked players or block sheds. So you want to be sure to not hold the right trigger at the snap and while you are hovering. Then when you back out into coverage, that's when you can hold the trigger all you want. So here's the difference between when I don't hold the trigger. You'll see that the pressure comes in pretty effectively. And here's when I do hold the trigger. Everything is blocked and there is no pressure to be found anywhere. So those are the key components that you want to make sure to do every time when you're hovering. Another thing you can do to take your pass rush to the next level is to pay attention to the meters underneath the offensive lineman. If you see the meter is starting to fill up, that means that the O-line will block better because they are learning the pass rusher's moves. The way you can reset the meter is by moving your D linemen around to different spots in the play calling menu, or just substitute them out for other rushers. Doing this will continue to keep the blocking meter low and give you a better chance to create more pressure on the QB. But now, what if you weren't sending a blitz and instead wanted to rush 3 and drop everybody else into coverage? So it would be a play like cover 4 drop. Now in a 3-man rush, you aren't going to get insane pressure, but there is a way you can create better block sheds, so the QB doesn't have a ton of time in the pocket. What you will want to do is pinch the D-line by pressing left on the D-pad and down with the left stick, and then slant them down by pressing left on the D-pad and down on the right stick. Then the last adjustment you'll want to do from a pressure standpoint is blitz the user, which will be one of the linebackers. The reason you want to do this is because if you only have 3 people set up on a blitz pre-snap, the game is programmed in a way that will make the offensive line dominate these 3 rushers, and the QB will have all day in the pocket. So you always want a minimum of 4 people on a blitz, even if that means you are using a blitzer then dropping back into coverage like we're going to do here. So when you put your user on a blitz, hover over one of the linemen using the steps we just went over, which are to make sure you have the green bar over your head while not holding the right trigger at the snap. Then you can drop back into coverage after a brief second of correctly hovering over the lineman, and you'll have better block sheds for a 3-man rush, which can give the QB a little less time to find open receivers in a coverage-heavy defense. Now here's an example of when I do not hover at all, and I do not put my user on a blitz. You will see the QB has quite literally all day to find an open receiver, which isn't what you want, so you can see there's a pretty big difference. Before I get into my last tip, if you are looking for pro-level Madden 24 ebooks, game plans, and constant updates to keep up with the latest meta, check out victoryformation.gg, created by Swole himself. His team consists of some very high-level competitive Madden players, so go check out the link in my description and be sure to sign up with the code RZR for a 10% discount. Now, even though this video is about getting more pressure which leads to more sacks, I want you to know that not holding the right trigger when hovering is also advantageous for you when you want to stop the run. Like I said before, when holding the right trigger, you will see none of your players being able to get off blocks, and it will be a lot harder to stop the run effectively and just get any type of pressure when there's a pass. But watch when I do not hold the right trigger against the run. Look at how much better the block sheds are. The computer-controlled players do a great job of getting off blocks, and then the user, which is you, will still be able to be there to shoot the gaps if needed. That is the video I got for you today. I hope this helps you out. As always, I appreciate the support, and remember, if you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment any of your thoughts about the video. I'll see you next time.